As the title suggests, does such a powerful talisman exist? The mysterious spear is rumored to be so potent that it can ensure victory for any army engaged in battle. Now forget we said that, because these are not just rumors but actual events. The popularity of this spear even caught the interest of Hitler and Napoleon at different times. Apparently, they may have only been carrying a fake imitation of the original spear. Small wonder, history was not kind to them or their war campaigns. And here's why. There are 4 different variants around the world. Join us as we dive into the incredible mystery of the ancient weapon capable of world destruction. But what really is the legend of the spear all about, and where did it originate? First off, it's a Christian artifact. Recall the story of the crucifixion of Jesus? Yeah, after Christ was hoisted on the cross, everyone was in a hurry to see him at the cross. The Roman soldiers overseeing the whole thing needed to get on with their weekend. On the flip side, disciples of Jesus wanted to be able to bury him before the Sabbath. This was so they didn't have to answer to the religious rulers, who frowned upon working on Sunday. After Jesus died on the cross, he was pierced in his side with a spear to confirm his death, and yes, he was truly dead. Water and blood flowed from his body, a sign of death. Except that something crazy happened next. Imagine that after stabbing Jesus, the soldier's spear got drenched in the holy blood of the Lamb, which is Jesus the Christ. No doubt, this event quickly drew a lot of attention, and the spear has become the most sought-after Christian object ever since. And the plot thickens, thanks to Christianity being absorbed into politics during the Roman Empire. The idea that there was a spear with the holy blood of Jesus on it could not remain dormant for long. So we can understand the sentiment of many generals since then who believed it granted world-conquering abilities to whoever wielded it on the battlefield. And there have been quite a few stories to support these claims. So much so that it is called the Spear of Destiny. But the fact that there are 4 contenders vying for our attention makes the job of determining the original even harder. And moreover, each copy of the Holy Lance has its own unique origin story. You can also try to come to your own conclusions about which one is the clear winner. And we can compare notes in the comments section after you've watched the video. So here it goes. Might the Roman spear be the original Holy Lance? This version of the spear has, in fact, been everywhere. And its rap sheet reads like one from an Indiana Jones movie or even a Dan Brown novel. That's the guy who wrote the Da Vinci Code bestseller. In 570 AD, an Italian pilgrim first made mention of the Holy Spear in his writings. He reported that he had sighted the crown of thorns and the spear used to pierce the side of Jesus in Jerusalem. It was being kept at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and other subsequent travelers corroborated his story. But in 615 AD, almost half a century later, Jerusalem was captured and the spear was split into 2, that is, a blade and a point. Both parts were separately shipped to Constantinople by the archbishop. The point ended up in the hands of the Latin Emperor Baldwin II, who then sold it to King Louis IX of France. Sadly, it went missing during the French Revolution. The blade part, however, ended up in the hands of the Ottoman Turks following the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Then in 1492, the Ottoman Emperor Bayezid II gifted the lance to Pope Innocent VIII. The emperor's brother was a prisoner at the Vatican, and such a gift meant that his incarceration was extended so that Bayezid could continue to rule. So the Vatican has had that part of the Holy Spear until today, and it was incorporated into the statue of Peter in the Vatican courtyard. The officials have never really thought about testing it because of other counterclaims of authenticity elsewhere. And so this version of the Holy Lance just sits on Peter's staff, softly challenging the other copies. Then comes the Vienna Spear, which the Nazis thought they controlled. This version of the Holy Lance had been passed down from one Roman emperor to the next until it found itself in storage during the breakout of World War II. While the first version had a more ecclesiastical origin, this second version became part of the regalia of the Roman ruler as a symbol that he deserved to be emperor. And its legend started when an Egyptian mercenary employed by Rome and named Morris used it to secure a number of victories in battle for Constantine the Great. Then in the 8th and 9th centuries, Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne secured up to 47 triumphant military victories with the same spear. The German king Henry the Fowler also used it to great effect while fighting on behalf of the Roman Empire. It soon found its way to Nuremberg and caught the interest of Napoleon, who tried to obtain it during his invasion of Austrasia, but its guardians smuggled it across the border into Vienna. The Nazis invaded Austria in 1938, and Hitler quickly dispatched a team of military archaeologists to obtain the Holy Spear. He truly believed it might help him conquer the world, but we know how that story played out. Hitler had in fact been inspired by gazing upon the spear while it was displayed in a museum. He had seen visions of his future right there while he was still a young man. But once he was defeated, the American army obtained the spear and returned it to the cultural department of the Austrian government. On the flip side, could the spear of Antioch be the one? Peter Bartholomew was a French soldier and mystic during the first Crusader campaigns to win back Jerusalem from Muslim occupation. And in December of 1097, he claimed to have seen a vision of St. Andrew, who pointed him to the exact spot where the Holy Spear was buried. It was to be found under the floors of the Church of St. Peter in the biblical town of Antioch. And true to the vision, the Crusaders dug out the spot as directed and found the rusted head of a spear. The fact that the vision turned out to be true bolstered the morale of the soldiers. It also gave credence to the claim that what they found was indeed the original Holy Lance. But in truth, this vision may very well have been a way for the authorities to maintain the loyalty of the soldiers fighting during the crusade, and it certainly served its purpose of motivating the Crusaders to a great extent. However, from our viewpoint, we cannot really tell if this version of the Holy Spear was magically responsible for any victories, or if its existence simply made the soldiers fight more bravely. Before we unlock the deepest secrets that lie in this ancient weapon, hit that subscribe button, because the upcoming videos are incredibly interesting. In 1099, its authenticity was tested when Bartholomew was made to walk barefoot on a path of burning coals laid out on the ground. If indeed the spear was holy and he had seen his vision, then it was presumed he would be fine and walk on the fire unharmed. It turns out that this story, as it has been passed down to us historically, was also rigged. Some documents claim that he passed the test, while others claim that he was burned and later died of his wounds, so we can never really tell the truth apart, much less the authenticity of the Spear of Antioch. In fact, as late as the 18th century, a Roman cardinal named Prospero boldly declared this version of the spear fake. So there you go. Even the Kardashians have one from their home country of Armenia, and it's the Vagarshapat spear. There is a chapel dedicated to housing this version of the Holy Spear in Armenia. Rumor has it that the spear first arrived there by the hand of Apostle Thaddeus in the 1st century AD. This is contrary to the records, which document the first instance of the Holy Spear in Armenia as late as 1119, more than 1,000 years later. The chapel itself that houses the relic was built in 1215 and named Lance Monastery, or rather the equivalent in the Armenian tongue, Kegertavank. In 1655, the legend of this version of the spear spread to mainland Europe, and a traveler named Jean-Baptiste Tavernier came by to document the spear with some notes and sketches. Also in 1798, the King of Georgia borrowed the lance to help him miraculously stop the spread of a plague that was ravishing his kingdom. Presently, it resides in the Manugan Museum for the public to gaze upon. So guys, what do you think? Does the spear give a power of victory or not? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in our next video.